Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and I'm here today with some exclusive content for the ESET UK Masters. Today, looking at one of the finalists, as I've been doing all week, and the purpose of this hype week is to let you, the viewers, get to know the finalists a little bit better, people you may not know, the people who you already know and love, just to really get an impression of how they play, what they do, and how you think they're possibly going to end up placing in the grand finals, of course, taking place on the 22nd to 25th of March 2013. So, let me introduce our finalists. In the top right position, the yellow Terran player for Mao's Esports. It is HerOMarine. And his opponent down in the lower left, the red Protoss player. It is HwangSin. So, HerOMarine, he plays for Mao's Esports. He is only 15, he signed with them quite a while ago, and he actually got through into this qualifier by taking part in the second invitational qualifier, where he managed to take out people such as Strelok, Happy Zerg. He did lose to Crank, so he actually came through in third place, so he just scraped through, but of course Crank is pretty phenomenal. He's an amazing player, so HerOMarine I know has been playing an incredibly large amount of Heart of the Swarm on the beta. I've cast a lot of his games on my channel anyway, and he's really solid. He's taken out some big name people and is definitely one of the dark horses I'm going to be watching throughout the tournament, who may make a couple of surprises. So for the moment, in terms of strategy, we've got the gas, we've got the barracks. Down for HwangSin, we've got the gas and we've got the gateway. So currently things looking fairly standard, nothing too crazy going on at the moment. So let me use this time to say that to keep up to date with all the latest information about the tournament and everything like that, make sure that you check out ESETUKMasters.com and /ESET UK Masters on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Now, all of these hype videos are going out on my YouTube, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be looking at all of the finalists over the coming days, so you don't want to miss any. You want to make an informed decision about who you want to be rooting for, and of course let us know in the big TL thread, and they'll also do a separate TL thread just for this kind of coverage week, so make sure you leave some comments in there, what you think, who you reckon could take one of the finalist places. But yeah, £10,000 on the line, and I'm sure a lot of these players are wanting to get a chunk of that. So currently a Reaper coming out after the Marine, fairly normal. You can get some good scouting off. The only thing that really shuts it down is a Stalker, and the key thing with Reapers is they heal so quickly out of combat in Heart of the Swarm. You can get that good scout up, you can harass, especially if a Protoss player tries to take the natural base too soon. You can definitely try and punish that, pick off a probe or two. But HerOMarine following up this Reaper play with just a quick command center. Meanwhile for HwangSin, he's getting down his Mothership Core. So Mothership Core early on, really effective. You can put on some Zealot Stalker pressure with a Mothership Core as well. And the key thing it does over just Zealot Stalker on its own is it grants you vision of the high ground. And that's really important because you can position your Stalker in order to try and take out one of these supply depots. And it's very, very difficult for a Terran to stop you doing that, actually. So the Reaper coming the long way around, just making sure nothing like a proxy 2 racks was coming down, gets a nice little bit of scout off there, is going to jump up into the main base as well. And of course with the Stalker currently wandering across the map, the second one will be the first way to stop this. So this Reaper could very well get a kill if it wants to, but straight away the gateway is rallied onto that Reaper. So going to take a couple of shots, but going to be able to quite happily get back out, spots the natural nexus. Meanwhile though, we do have the Stalker and Zealot running up into the main base, and the supply depot doesn't go down in time, and therefore does manage to get trapped behind there. But the Marines are going to be able to do some nice damage, chase down this Stalker, which will certainly now die because it ran up and in, but sees that there's 2 additional barracks down. Obviously, because the Reaper knows the gas is there anyway, but sees that there isn't a second gas. Now getting trapped right in the very corner. Not too much loss there by HerOMarine. I believe he lost just a single Marine, or was it? No, it must have been just a single SCV. So very, very nice scout there. The Reaper is still just seeing back. The Mothership Core is going to try and be a bit more irritating, deal a little bit of damage. But to be honest, these Marines are able to deal enough DPS to force it back, and you do not want to lose your Mothership Core early on. You want to bank up its energy, just so you've got Photon Overcharge, Mass Recall, and also Time Warp at your disposal, or hopefully even a couple of them. So as we can see here, just the 3 barracks following up, a very early stim pack timing out of HerOMarine. I like that, the bunker down in the front as well. The natural nexus is now up and running, 3 additional gateways being added onto that, so some delayed 4-gate pressure could potentially be coming in here. With the mothership core, I quite like that, because you can mass recall if required, and you can also time walk to do a little bit of extra damage. The Stalker and Sentry are probably going to spell the end of this Reaper's poor existence, but as we can see, just trying to get another scout off, see what's coming down. We'll spot these additional gateways, so that's really important. Sees now precisely what HwangSin is doing, and as a result of that, HerOMarine will be able to respond appropriately. And the way you respond to seeing this 4-gate pressure is just get out a second bunker and also get out a good number of Marines and Marauders. So starting an additional factory now, just in order to start teching up towards getting medevacs out, also getting the engineering bay ready for the upgrades. So this is piecing together how I would like it to be honest, and definitely going to be getting into the more mid-game stages, because while there is some 4-gate pressure coming on, this isn't an all-in, but it does need to do some decent damage. If this doesn't really quite seriously hurt HerOMarine's income, hurt his economy, or at least get some of these key units down, it's not going to be cost effective. And if it's not cost effective, you've lost a lot of time you could have been teching by doing this, because of course if you had skipped these gateways and instead got down a robotics facility, you would have been so much further ahead in terms of your tech. So that could be a bit of a problem. And if we look, actually HerOMarine is in a great defense position. He's got 3 bunkers up already. If he pulls the SCVs, that's going to be incredibly hard to take down. Sentry count is at 5, so there's a good few force fields that could be placed to prevent the repair, but to be honest, this is going to be a very, very tough push to make. We see already those Marauders getting a couple of shots off from the bunkers. SCVs preemptively getting pulled, knowing that there's too many units there to just be defensive. Now going back, realizing perhaps HwangSin won't go for it. It's a very, very tough push to make. We do have the starport coming behind this for medevacs. We've got +1 infantry weapons coming down. And the Stalkers just going to make a couple of shots off against this supply depot. Should be able to get it down without taking damage. One of Zealot just overstepping the mark there. Gets pulled back. And this isn't a big problem losing this supply depot. It's just more a bit frustrating. HerOMarine already got 2 more in production, ready to deal with them. But now it looks like these Protoss forces are going to start moving forward. A time warp goes down. The bunker does fall. But getting 1 bunker for losing a sentry is not worthwhile. And as we can see, now the Marines coming forward. The mothership core goes down as well. And HwangSin did lose significantly more. They're going to lose this pylon as well. And that is just absolutely traumatic losses. And as we can see, medevacs are coming out now. Stim is complete. A good little stim forward. +1 Terran weapons nearly done. No upgrades out at the moment at all for HwangSin. The forge is only just now starting up. He's also getting down his robotic facility and Twilight Council. So teching to the max. But even though he's rebuilt that mothership core, the ultimate bottom line is the fact that HerOMarine has lost 300 resources and HwangSin has lost 1,000 more than that. That is a big engagement, and now this counter push just to this Marine Marauder force could be very, very powerful. With these pylons going down as well, that will supply block HwangSin momentarily. If he spots this 3rd one as well, that definitely will resupply block him, and that in itself is going to be knocking him a bit further behind. The Twilight Council is down 1-1, upgrades for the Protoss on the way, getting chrono boosted as well. We have the robotics bay coming out, but that means no Colossi will be out for a good amount of time, probably around 2 minutes, give or take a bit, before the first Colossus hit, and this push is definitely going to come out before then. Combat shield is done. We'll also see the concussive shells is done in under a minute, and this is where this becomes exceptionally dangerous. HerOMarine, he's moving across the map, he's loading up a double drop as well. He's going to go for the multi-prong harassment, a double drop into the main, a push into the front, likely to come down. And this sort of play is incredibly potent, because then it forces a Terran player to be in 2 places at once, which is never too fun. The Observer cannot quite see that there are indeed the medevacs there, but it does spot those Stalkers. Goes in anyway though. That is a bold move. One of the medevacs does go down, but a good number of units get pumped out. All of the units getting pulled back to try and deal with this drop, but of course this means that the Marine Marauder is able to come into the natural base. Photon overcharge going down. But as we can see, a good number of those units do manage to make it out alive. The Immortal gets sniped off, keeping your tech even further behind. HwangSin losing a lot of units here, but so is HerOMarine. He has got quite a few losses in this push, but he did quite a lot of damage as well. Sniping off that Immortal was good, but definitely a better trade for HwangSin there, who shut down the drop very effectively. And now it's really up to HerOMarine to work out what he's going to do, because the 1-1 upgrades for the Protoss player will be down by the time the next push comes, and that just means that the upgrades will be equal, because +1 Terran armor will also be finished. A couple of Widow Mines being added into the composition, and I like this because a few Widow Mines just contain a Protoss player, especially if they don't have an Observer out. But the one Observer that is out is currently going across the map. The factory has unfortunately been spotted. The Widow Mine needs to burrow fairly quickly, and will be able to get a kill on a Zealot, so that in itself isn't bad. Dead Zealot for a Widowmine is a good trade. Meanwhile, we do of course have HerOMarine desperately trying to just pump out more stuff. He's got his armory coming down to start the +2 upgrades. He's got his medevac count rising, but for HwangSin, he's got Blink just about to finish up. He's also researching extending Thermal Lance and has that single Colossus out. The second one will be out in a couple of seconds. So, all in all, I would say this is still in HerOMarine's favour, just due to having so many more workers out of 68 to 49. But once this third base starts running and rolling, things will be looking a bit more comfortable for the Red Protoss player. +2 infantry weapons now on its way down as well, so upgrading steadily, good production, and the macro for really both these players is very good. But HerOMarine's macro is absolutely impeccable. He will always keep his money incredibly low. Really, really solid macro player, and that's one of his biggest benefits. And he has got a good number of units down here, just moving out, not enough to go for a drop in my opinion, not yet at least. And with these Stalkers just staying, waiting, ready for any medevacs that could come in, I think it's wise that HerOMarine isn't trying to do that. The Observer getting a good look, a scan goes off. Just in the main base, taking a look at what's there, sees a couple of the Stalkers, sees the double upgrades, but doesn't spot the robotics bay yet, and therefore I believe one of these Colossi was spotted previously in the push, but I'm not 100% sure, and considering that there aren't any Vikings out on the field, I don't think HerOMarine could know about that. So we've also got some Widow Mines down. That's nice. It just means that any careless move out from the Protoss player will result in a gateway unit dying. And as such, HerOMarine, he's just starting to move back across the map, and he's got a lot of medevacs out and a lot of Marines and Marauders. This is going to be a very, very powerful push coming in, and really it's just up to the Colossi, which there are 3 of now, to deal a good amount of damage. But if you kite backwards, you can allow these Widow Mines to deal a nice bit of damage. So as we can see now, it's a small group of units moving forward. Are they going to try and bait back this Protoss force? It looks like, yes, they will. Photon Overcharge going down. That's some energy being used already from that Nexus. And one Widow Mine did detonate there. I'm not quite sure on what, but it got a kill. More Widow Mines just here at the very edge of that Photon Overcharge range. And all in all, I would just say that HerOMarine, he's going to contain his opponent. He can push into the natural if the third tries to get defended. The next is going to get focused down, but the unit's staying up here to try and deal with the force coming into the natural, and that means that the third base does indeed fall very quickly. A great little snipe off there, and suddenly HwangSin is very far behind in terms of the economy, especially with HerOMarine now taking his 4th base, and still a good 8 workers in the lead. So where does this leave us? Well, Widow Mines are covering all down this exit path. Really nice play here. HwangSin, he's got to find something really good he can do. He's got to try and take out this army as best he can. But HerOMarine pulling back, waiting for 2-2 to complete. That will keep them on equal workers. But these additional Vikings coming out, such a smart move. 4 Vikings at a time in order to start dealing with these Colossi. HwangSin going for the counterattack because he knows ultimately that he has to deal with some damage. These medevacs are very far forward. Blink is finished, but no forward blink going down quite yet. And we did hear that a couple of extended thermal lance shots were going off. But look at this attack arc. It's very nice. A great spread on those infantry units. And just the Protoss units getting absolutely decimated. The Vikings taking a couple of shots, but not really dealing with these Colossi fast enough. And as such, most of the infantry going down. But HerOMarine, just with such an extraordinary large force compared to that of the Protoss army, is able to start pushing forward, gets a couple more shots off on the Stalkers. HwangSin still under 100 supply, trying to resupply on a couple more Colossi, but just GG's out because, well, the Widow Mines have made it back into his natural base, and all in all, he was not going to have too much fun and didn't really have the money to keep up with HerOMarine's supply, especially after seeing that 4th base was down. So that was HerOMarine. Let us know in the TL thread in the comment section below what you thought of him and what his chances are in the finals on the 22nd to 25th of March. I'm Madals. I'll be casting those finals with a few others, and make sure of course you subscribe to this channel and check out the rest of the ESET High playlist to make sure you decide which finalists you think have a shot of advancing to the later stages. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.